We thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress and legislative, but in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there.
There was an Inspector General audit last year that showed over an 8-year period, the Social Security Administration made almost $72 billion in improper payments, a little less than 1% of payments in that time period. Now, the report also says that most of these improper payments were overpayments, not payments to deceased people or people who didn't qualify to receive these payments. At the same time, Jose, this effort by DOGE is to go through this agency like every other and try to weed out waste and fraud.
Yeah, I mean, and also 72 billion, and that's without a comprehensive search. I mean, that's significant.
Wow. So Elon Musk and the DOGE team strikes again. Now that they have gained access to be able to look at the Treasury Department's payments, they have found $72 billion in improper, fraudulent payments that have gone out to people, some even ranging in the ages of between 110 years old and 300 years old, which is outrageous. Now, while the Democrats scream, yell, and shout and do these little fake protests in front of buildings singing old Negro spiritual hymns for whatever reason, as if that's going to change the fact of the matter that President Trump and Elon Musk are doing exactly what we the people voted and elected him to do, which is clean up the government spending and waste and to drain that swamp. And that's what they're doing. And you can always tell who's the most offended and affected by it by the way they scream, yell, and holler. Now, there was a point in time where the Democrat Party fully supported this type of cutting of waste and really getting our budgets under control. But that party is long gone. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you a clip of that. I'm going to show you a couple of clips that are reporting on the $72 billion fraud that's been found by Elon Musk and how congressional members on the left are doing everything they can to stop them from catching the fraud, to stop them from getting a hold and getting control of the waste and funneling that money back to the American people. These folks are fighting for us to funnel billions over to Ukraine. They're fighting for us to keep spending $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq, $45 million for DEI scholarships in Burma. Now we find $72 billion in fraud. And as you saw in that first clip from MSNBC, they're always going to try to spin it a little bit by saying, well, you know, none of those payments were fraud. They didn't go to people they weren't supposed to. They just were overpayments, improper payments. No, that's fraud. And it's been noted that there may be some kickbacks going on from some of the monies that's going out, because most of these projects and stuff that the money's been going out for overseas aren't even being done. The schools that $600 million went to go build was never built. The $130 million for a bridge that was never built. The millions of dollars for the home school program for the children in Iraq that couldn't go to the school that was never built. It's just crazy. So stick with me. I'm going to show you these clips, share with you some commentary, and just your mind is going to be blown. So let's check out this first clip where we get a blast from the past of seeing how the Democrat Party used to think and what they used to admire. Check this out.
And, you know, I think that I would hate to be in the Democratic Party right now because you're in a really bad bind. You're having to defend all of this crazy spending, all of this crazy waste. So how do you do it? You do ad hominem attacks. You attack the messenger. Oh, Elon Musk, right? He's rich. He must be evil, right? That's the attacks. Really? You can't do any better than that, right? Let's talk on the policy. On the policy, help us. We're trying to save this country. Not a single company, governor of any state would ever turn down Elon Musk and his team of DOGE from coming in and providing free services to right the course and financially in any state or organization. Madam Chair, I have a video I would like to end with that just let's review if we could cue that to remind, and I want to remind my Democratic friends at a point in which you once had the majority of the American people on your side. This is what your party believed in.
This report tells us how to cut waste, cut red tape, streamline the bureaucracy, change procurement rules, change the personnel rules, and create a government that works better and costs less.
I've read it, and where it says the president should, the president will.
Among the 800 recommendations, eliminating 12% of the federal workforce, merging some government agencies like the FBI, the DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, closing hundreds of government offices outside Washington.
From the day I took office, one of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending.
If you're enjoying this video and you like the content, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I will never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, it is currency. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On this channel, I share political and current events and selling tips and techniques. So subscribe to the channel. When you do, hit that notification bell and select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos.
We thought that it was entirely appropriate for our governments and our agencies to try to root out waste, large and small, in a systematic way. It means cutting some programs that I think are worthy, but we may not be able to afford right now. A lot of the action is in Congress and legislative, but in the meantime, we don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. And we're going to keep on finding every possible way that we can do that, even if Congress is not acting. There you go.
All right, so as we can see here, DOGE and Elon Musk have gone in and they found millions. Now it's turned into billions of dollars of Social Security fraud, including a 360-year-old and vampires that are getting payments. So while these folks are screaming and yelling and doing all of this, chanting and creating an uproar over something that was once believed by the Democrat Party, but that's why that party has fallen so far, because they don't relate to the American people. While you and I applaud and appreciate them going in and telling us where our tax dollars are going, the people that are fighting and fussing over it are the ones that want to keep funneling it to their friends for whatever kickbacks or whatever invitations to the cool parties, whatever they get that would allow them to be able to sleep at night knowing that they're selling the American people up the river. Another article where they talk about it is in Newsweek. Elon Musk issues major Social Security warning. It says billionaire Elon Musk has said there is widespread fraud taking place in the payment of federal entitlements like Social Security. Why it matters. Social Security benefits are paid to more than 70 million Americans on a monthly basis and help form the bedrock of income for many retirees, survivors of deceased claimants, and for disabled people. Musk, who was selected by President Donald Trump to head up the non-official Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has been tasked with streamlining government processes and with cutting spending. But critics have raised the alarm about an unelected official gaining access to the payment records and personal details of Americans. Here's why that's a bunch of crap. Because prior to the richest man and one of the smartest men in the planet having access to it, we had unelected, unknown, lifelong bureaucrats running it. People that have been in those departments for 20, 30 years and who have helped it tank and sink as low as it has so far. So when they get all pissed off about some 21-year-old or 25-year-old coming in and asking a 30-year bureaucrat, hey, what do you do? Why are you doing that? And how does it help? Oh, that's just so offensive to them. Well, it's offensive to us to know that we trusted you with our taxpayer dollars, that you would reinvest it in America and in the American people, not sending off almost $1 trillion to Ukraine and other countries and providing. Do you know that welfare benefits, Social Security benefits, go to family members of the Taliban who were unalived during our fight with them? Do you realize that? That is insane. Or the $20 million for the Sesame Street show in Iraq. Do you know $45 million were spent on DEI scholarships in Burma? So while these folks are going crazy about Elon Musk unelected, he's the richest man in the world, so he don't care about your grandmother's $900 a month Social Security check. He doesn't care about your credit. He's the richest man in the world. Everything is just a phone call or a request away. As a matter of fact, it hurts him doing what he's doing, but it also benefits him making sure America's profitable. Why? We're his biggest customer. The American citizens and the American government utilize SpaceX. We utilize X. We utilize Tesla. These are all key and essential things. And when they talk about, oh, the government contracts, do you know that on average, it was costing America $1.3 to $1.4 billion to build a rocket? SpaceX and Elon Musk did it for $300 million, and it was superior to every other company out there. So we got a far more superior product at a fraction, at almost a third of the price. So that's why he got the government contracts. And this is when he was still on the blue team. Remember now, Elon just aligned with Trump over the last year or so. Prior to that, the left loved him. He was a genius. They loved his products. Oh my God. But the moment common sense started settling in on him and he became aware of the woke mind virus and TDS, because it almost got him. He almost got infected with TDS, but luckily he caught it. There is a cure for it. It's called information. It's called independent thinking. And when you do those two things, you tend to find out that, hey, everything is okay with this guy. So, by no stretch of the imagination, they felt some kind of way when he transitioned and shifted and became more right aligned. But that doesn't negate the great work that he does and how he's one of the best in the business in his fields. But back to the topic at hand. Now, in this clip, we're going to listen to Fox News break down what has been exposed as one of the biggest fraud to date that DOGE has been able to uncover as far as in going through these departments. We thought it was bad when they went through USAID. I believe as they continue to go through the Treasury, some of these other entitlement programs, Medicare, Medicaid, we're going to find that monies have been available that could take care of those that are paid into the system and work their whole life to make sure that they have some support. We shouldn't have any problem with that whatsoever. But with them taking the money, spending it, improper payments going out, potential kickbacks for them throwing our tax dollars away, I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be retiring early and stepping down, trying to flee to other countries to avoid the wrath that's going to come down on them from Pam Bondi and President Trump. But let's check out what Fox News has to say about it.
All right, let's bring in Missouri Congressman and member of the subcommittee on delivering on government efficiency, DOGE, Eric Burleson. Congressman, good morning to you. So what's your reaction to that? People with Social Security numbers that are way older than you've ever heard be able to live in this country. So what do you think?
It tells us how poor this system is and how inefficient the federal bureaucracy has become. It also lets us in on how structurally we have created an environment that is ripe for fraud. And so while I'm not certain and willing to investigate all of these individuals, the millions of people that, are over a certain, reasonable age, and determine if they truly are individuals and if it truly is a fraud incident, while we still need to do that investigation, it's clear that there are not systems in place that are obvious checks on things like this.
So there's also this. Fox News has learned that the DOGE audit on the IRS is imminent, despite backlash from Democrats. Of course, a ruling on the effort to block Musk's DOGE from accessing data and being able to fire employees is expected today. So what do you think is going to happen there?
I think at the end of the day, the American people, trust the fact that we have an individual, one of the smartest individuals on the planet, who is not in this for his own self-interest. He's really sacrificing his time and his treasure to help save this country because it's in his best interest. No one has more to lose than Elon Musk. And so, and I think that the fact that he is lending his talent and his expertise and all the geniuses that come with him, we should embrace that. And I know that as someone elected official, I welcome, it's like the cavalry coming in, having someone like Elon Musk come in and point out all of the fraud and all the ways that we've been trying to point out for years.
Well, there you have it, and you heard it. And he's right. What company, what smart businessman in their right mind would turn down Elon Musk and his DOGE team coming into their business for free to get their payment, their processes, and their systems in alignment? Who would turn that down? Only a person that's ignorant and that just doesn't have any sense. But we're talking about the Democrat Party, so it kind of fits perfectly, doesn't it? At the end of the day, what they're doing is fighting against what we, the people, what you and I, elected and selected President Trump and Elon Musk to go in there and do. And that's drain the swamp, clean up the BS and get them out of there. That's what needs to happen, and it's happening. And the more you see them digging and pulling back the layers, the more outrageous the Democrat stunts are going to get. And I don't know if anybody, their PR person for the DNC is horrible, because nobody's saying, hey, y'all, listen, we seem like we're on the wrong side of everything as of late. We might want to pull back on the whole orange man bad thing because it's not working out for us. Because what they do is they create these victimhood coalitions. And that phrase was coined by the Black Conservative Perspective, Greg Foreman. And good channel, you should check him out. But the victimhood coalition, and he's right. And what that means is that you got all of these little groups of people that feel like they're victims. Trans community, LGBTQ community, Black women, Hispanics, atheists. You got all of these people that all feel like they're a victim somehow, and orange man bad. So what they do is they get together with one common uniter, which is orange man bad. But in truth, they have nothing in common with each other. And so that's why these organizations, these things don't last, they fall apart. Now, back in 2016, that movement was real, and it was going against the machine, boy. They were rallying against Trump. In 2020, they were able to get that excitement, and it's the younger folks that are doing it. Nobody in 35 or 40 is about to call out of work for 2, 3, 4 days to go stand outside with a sign. That's young people crap. They don't have anything else to do. They don't have any bills to pay, so they're going out there doing that. But the reason why it falls apart is because when everything is orange man bad, but what the orange man is doing is what the people want, you're no longer just fighting against orange man. You're fighting against the American people. And that is a battle that you will lose every day of the week. And then there's infighting amongst the coalitions because their objectives are not the same. Those people that are saying free Palestine, but also are transgender, queer, and all of this stuff, they have no idea that if they were in Palestine, they would probably be beheaded and locked in prison for being transgender or queer. So they stand in the country they call the most oppressive, and they shout all of these things and free other countries, and I'm fighting for them, not even realizing we're so free that you can stand up, disrespect the president, call yourself whatever gender you want for that day, and do all of this stuff on your iPhone 22 while you scream about how hard it is and how oppressed you are, while people really out in third world countries don't even have internet. They don't have the state-of-the-art phone. They can't stand out publicly and say anything. That's like there was I believe it was around $20-30 million that was given over to it was one of those Arabic countries. I want to say it was like Saudi Arabia or Pakistan, and it was for women's diversity. It was like 20 million. Well, it's publicly known that they don't even allow their women to speak publicly over there. So you really believe that $20 million went to build a diversity program in an area where the women can't even show their face? No, that money went to somebody and they kicked it back to somebody on this side, allegedly. You're not going to start diversity programs, transgender programs in these countries where they will take your life. It's illegal to be gay in some of these countries. Literally illegal. So my hat is off to the DOGE team. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep busting these suckers, and we're going to keep exposing them. As the grass is cut, the snakes are being shown. And thank you, God. Thank you to the Most High God that this past election, the American people spoke resoundingly that Trump is our guy. Therefore, Elon Musk is our guy, and DOGE is our team. So listen, I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. As always, like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. And again, sincerely, thank you so much for watching. I'm Brian Maxwell. And as always, I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out.